Hi guys, this goes with math lesson 10.10, all about graphing. If you haven't had a chance to do so already, I really encourage you to click the YouTube link that I included on your pacing guide to review lots of different types of graphing that we've worked on this year in kindergarten. Today on your math page, you have a graph that looks something like this. It's titled South Christian School Math Times. I'm going to be reading some data and we're going to be collecting that data, graphing the data, and analyzing the data together today. So at South Christian School, kindergarten does math at 9 o'clock. So what I want you to do on your math paper is look at the graph and look at the bottom on this axis here and find the icon on the clock that says 9 o'clock. Remember, in digital clocks, the double zeros here indicate o'clock. So this is the hour, these are the minutes. So 9 o'clock. So we know kindergarten does math at 9, so we're going to color in one box right above 9 o'clock. First grade has math at 10 o'clock. So here is 10 o'clock. So again, I'm going to fill in one box on the graph to indicate one class does math at 10 o'clock. Second grade has math at 9:30. So remember, the first number in the digital form is the hour, 9, and then the 30 indicates our minutes. So we have 9:30. So we're going to fill in one box above the 9:30 clock. Third grade has math at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to find 9 o'clock on the graph. We already have one. We're going to fill in box number 2 because the second class does math at 9 o'clock. Third grade has math at 9 o'clock, like we said. Fourth grade has math at 10:30. So I'm going to find the 10:30 icon at the bottom. I'm going to color box 1 here because so far one class has math at 10:30. So we're about halfway through collecting our data, and you can see that currently the most classes have math at 9 o'clock, but this could change. So let's continue. Fifth grade has math at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to fill in box 2 above 10 o'clock. Sixth grade does math at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to move up to the third box on my graph because they're the third class to do math at 9 o'clock. Seventh grade has math at 10:30. So that's box 2, the second class to do math at 10:30. Eighth grade has math at 10 o'clock. So we're going to fill in here above the 10 o'clock icon. 3 classes do math at 10 o'clock. And lastly, their school goes up to 9th grade, and 9th grade does math at 9 o'clock. So we're going to fill in up here. Awesome. Okay, so now our data is collected and our graph is complete. The next step is to analyze this data together. And we're going to do that by answering questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the bottom of your math paper. Number 1 is, at which time are most math classes? So in order to discover and figure that out, we need to look at the graph and figure out which one has the most boxes filled in. And if you said 9 o'clock, that's correct because 1, 2, 3, 4 classes have math at 9 o'clock. And that is the most out of all of the classes. So you're going to circle the answer 9 o'clock. Number 2, at which time are the least math classes? So we need to look at each time and figure out which one has the least, meaning not as many as the rest. Good, and I know you said 9:30 because only one class does math at 9:30. So you will circle 9:30. Problem 3. Which time has more math classes? So now we're comparing 2 times on the graph. 9:30 or 10:30? You can look at my graph or your graph. They should be the same. But which one has more? Well, 9:30, one class does math, and at 10:30, two classes do math. So we know that 2 is more than 1. So there are more math classes at 10:30. So you will circle 10:30 in problem number 3. Problem 4. Which time has fewer math classes? That's another way of saying less. And we're going to be comparing 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So which time has fewer math classes? There are 4 math classes at 9 o'clock. 3 math classes at 10 o'clock. Which one is less? That's right, 3 is less than 4. So there are fewer math classes at 10 o'clock than 9 o'clock. Great job, boys and girls. On the back side of your math paper, you are going to be looking at a boy named Ethan's home schedule for the week. And I want you to graph the data. So you'll look at his schedule in his calendar book, and then you will graph how many times a week Ethan attends church, piano lessons, soccer, and how many times he goes to the park throughout the week.